and Gaurav Sharma, Associate VP and Head of Research Globe Capital on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Very good evening to everyone.
Good evening, good evening. Now, let's go straight to the first query on the show. So, John has written to us from Puducherry and he says that he's bought 17 shares of Infosys, average price at 1608, and he bought Infosys shares a year back. So he's asking whether he should add more shares at the current levels or should he wait for further correction, and he's looking for an investment of more than 3 years. So Prashant, I'd like to come to you. You know, the IT index hit a 8-month low on concerns that the US economy may fall into recession by the year end amid the Trump's tariff war. So what do you have to say on Infosys and the IT sector, in total?
I think we should just look at last term when Trump was in action in 2017 and 2021. The same year again, pharma as well as IT sector both underperformed the overall market. So similar way of underperformance will continue in IT industries. But with a view of 3 years, I don't think the downside would be more from the current levels. Every dip should be added like an SAP in the stock. Downside is very limited again in terms of valuation, very comfortable to have a fresh call at these levels. But obviously the near term looks very blink at this point of time. So anywhere between 1500 can be a level to watch and wait, then buy more at the levels.
All right. And Gaurav, what's your take on the IT space in particular and Infosys if we talk about?
I do have some kind of a similar view. If you look at a long-term perspective, yes, IT is some ways, we just cannot skip in any of our portfolios. Now, when we specifically talk about stocks like Infosys Technologies, which have been a completely outperformer all throughout the journey that we have seen for the IT industries and brought so much name and fame to the country. So this is some space which cannot lay low for a longer time frame. Yes, I do believe some near-term jitters will be seen here with uncertainties coming from the US front as they derive most of their revenue from that particular space. So yes, another 5 to 10% dip from here would be a very, very good buying opportunity even for a trading perspective.
Okay, got it. And now we have another WhatsApp query. Vijay Mahajan has written to us from Delhi. He holds 100 shares of Indus Tower at 355 rupees a piece. And he's sitting on a loss of close to 3,000 rupees. The stock did see a dip of close to 5% today. And I was just about to mention this, and he's mentioned this in his query as well, that with Starlink coming to India, please advise if I should hold or sell this counter, and if yes, if we can continue to hold this for the next 12 months. Prashant, I would like to take your view on Indus Towers. The competition is just getting intense. Right, 1 year back, there were telecom giants saying, we do not want Starlink to come to India, and now we are seeing these tie-ups. And of course, satellite internet could change the ball game for telecom companies. In such a scenario, is Indus Towers a good bet to invest in?
I think with the short term, sentimentally, obviously the stock will react negatively with respect to the tie-up between Starlink, SpaceX, and Bharti Airtel as well as Jio. The sentiments will turn to be very short-lived. I think India is a big country, and the tower business will continue to sustain. But maybe some kind of EPS downgrade may be seen once we see the Starlink action really taking place in India. But obviously, these headlines will make sure the tower businesses looks some kind of downgraded coming in coming few quarters. So wait and watch for me. If he's already bought, I think there should be a stop loss where my other colleague can help him to maintain.
Okay, got it. And Gaurav, what would your stop loss on Indus Towers be for the next 12 months?
Yes, Indus Towers is currently trading near the a stop loss point. So it is trading very close to its support levels, that is somewhere around 315 levels. But I would still suggest the client to have a bit longer stop loss, because this kind of a stock by its very nature, as far as technical charts are concerned, by its very nature, it is a slow mover kind of a stock. So I would say that, and you're asking for a year-long perspective, so the stop loss would be somewhere close to 280, and that too on a closing basis.
Thanks for that view, Gaurav. Now we have a WhatsApp query. So Sundarajan has written to us from Chennai saying that he holds 50 shares of Elgi Equipments at 357 and he's looking for a long-term view on it. So how are the fundamentals of this particular company looking like, Prashant?
Very good. I think in terms of fundamental, the story is really great with respect to the business manufacturing, supplying of air compressor. So the growth is really great. I think 15-20% CAGR growth in terms of top line as well as bottom is been witnessed from last 2-3 quarters. But obviously, yes, with respect to valuation at this point of time, again 40 P as well as price to book earnings of 8x is not so comfortable to have a blind best level at this point of time. I think one should wait more for a good correction, good levels, for a better valuations to go long on this level. So if he's holding it, wait for some more time to add more, but current advice would be hold.
Got it. And now we have Bhaskar. He's calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Bhaskar. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah.
Please ask your question.
I'm having 100 shares of Trans Rail Lighting.
Okay.
At a price of 560.
Okay.
So can I hold for 6 months?
Understood. And when did you purchase these shares?
Some 1 month back.
Okay, a month back. And you want to know a 6-month view on this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. Gaurav, I'll take your view on Transrail Lighting. The stock was listed around December 2024 and is integrated in transmission and distribution and pole manufacturing company. It currently trades around 507 rupees and hasn't performed that well since its listing days. What is your take on Transrail Lighting?
As you rightly mentioned, the data is quite less to actually perfectly evaluate it on the basis of chart. But as far as whatever limited data I have, what I can see is it has not performed much, and it is primarily because since its listing, the market has been drowning and it has not been able to perform that well. I would advise the viewer to maintain a stop somewhere close to 470 on a closing basis and hold it position. Some good amount of buying interest would be seen if the stock is able to sustain our 550, 560 odd levels. So as of now, yes, the stock is in a broader range. No clear signal is there, but what I can see is 470 on the downside is a major support. 550 on the higher side is the hurdle. Whichever way the stock goes, at least a 10 to 15% quick move in that direction can be witnessed.
Okay, understood. And Prashant, what's your view on this particular company?
See, fundamentally, I think the numbers are good with respect to ratios as well as the business model, but the timing was really bad. Post-December markets went really bad with the recent IPOs with respect to high valuations and all. So even though the valuations are looking a bit expensive, I think one should wait for more time. At least Q4 earnings should be a probable time where one should understand the business model, the growth and all, and then take a call for a long term. But time being, my recommendation would be hold with a stop loss.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. Now we have a caller from Kolkata. Hi, Zuhaib. Vivek. Hi, Vivek.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query, Vivek.
Yes, so I have 200 shares of Kintech.
All right.
I bought it at 1,500 rupees.
All right.
So the price has corrected a lot in the last couple of months.
Yes.
So I am looking to hold it for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know whether it's worth holding for 2 years.
Okay.
Or is it a risky pick? Yeah.
All right. Prashant, I'd come to you since, if I'm looking at the charts, so since December, it has, seen a significant fall. So what do you have to say for the long term? Is it an optimistic picture for Kintech for another 2 to 3 years?
Yes, I think we're very positive with respect to the business model, but obviously this goes in line with how markets are now performing. From last 3 to 4 months, markets are really not performing well, and then obviously the business model which is into financial services platforms. I think that has been really linked. If there is a story of 2 to 3 years, again obviously yes, his cost of buying is almost near all-time high, which is around 1641, and his cost is around 1500. So I think I will advise him to buy more on dips like an SIP, because and another 3 to 6 months there will be a lot of near-term troubles in the stock market as well as in the business model of Kintech. So I think post the second half of next financial year, there may be some kind of consolidation in terms of business model as well as market. Then things will improve. So I think with the 12 months to 18 months, obviously, yes, add more at this point of time.
Okay, understood. And now we have Krishna. He's calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Krishna.
Hi.
What's your question, Krishna?
I have Reliance 412 shares. Okay, I bought it at 1,270 rupees. Currently, the loss is 5,541 rupees. Should I hold this, or what will be the future prospects of this Reliance Industries?
Okay, and Krishna, when did you purchase these shares at 1,270 rupees a piece?
This I purchased over a period of time. I accumulated last 2 years.
Okay, you've accumulated them for the last 2 years. Got it.
Correct.
Understood. Prashant, what's your view on Reliance Industries? Krishna currently holds 400 shares at 1,270 a piece. He's accumulated them in the past 2 years, and he's asking if he can hold on to these shares for the next 2 years as well. It's a large cap company and hasn't done that bad as compared to the benchmark indices in the last couple of months. What's your view on Reliance?
With respect to valuation, again, very comfortable to say him to hold this stock at this point of time. But again, the journey would be very slow. I think there are a lot of businesses which there are still no clear clarity on the retail business, IPO and other segments. So I think for a 12 months to 18 months, obviously the stock will be on a positive territory. But obviously, again, it will take its own time to give a best return for him. So overall, for me, a hold recommendation, but the return would be very much near 10 to 15% for next 1 year plus.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant, on Reliance Industries. Now we have a caller from Kerala. Hi, Arun. Good evening.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Yes. How can we help you, Arun?
I am holding KPIT Technologies at an average price of 1,340.
Yes.
Yeah, I hold 83 shares.
Okay.
So my query is for a 1 year perspective, and if it is a good level to average now.
All right. And what was the reason? What was the thought process behind buying KPIT Tech?
Yeah, the company has been giving strong returns for the past years, and it has been beaten down so badly over the past year due to the EU slowdown in the sales. And so I feel it will do well in the coming years.
Yeah. So Prashant, again a fundamental query. KPIT Tech, Arun bought at 1,340 and currently trading at 1,234. And if we talk about today, so it was down over 2% in trade today. So still, what do you have to say about KPIT Tech? The space is under pressure, but still, are you optimistic on this particular company?
Long-term basis, yes, optimistic, but near-term, again, there will be a lot of hurdles because the business model is totally focused on automobile software businesses. Globally, they are servicing a lot of big companies, but obviously the companies which they are into serving. So I think that business are not doing well as of now. So obviously the near-term outlook will be very much blink. I think another 5-10% fall in the prices, as well as the earnings will not so be good in Q4 as well as Q1. So wait and watch for me. Hold at this point of time. If it goes below 1,150 around, so I think that will be a good level to buy this stock for a long-term perspective.
Okay, and Gaurav, for the short term, do you also hold the same view?
Yes, for the shorter term perspective, also the stock is not looking very much attractive at current levels. And I see a further dip somewhat close to 1,100 or even 975, 980 odd levels. So from a short term perspective, it is not a buy. But for a long-term perspective, yes, things can, tables can turn if the stock is able to go past and sustain above 1,300 odd levels.
Okay, got it. And now we have Shivam. He's calling us from Gujarat. Hi, Shivam. Good evening.
Yeah, ma'am. Good evening.
Please ask away your question.
Ma'am, I'm holding Coal India stock, 380 quantity at the buying price 373.
Okay.
My horizon is for long term. I would like to know, shall I average on every drop of support, or what shall I do more in this?
Understood. Prashant, I'd like to take your view on Coal India again. Coal India, our viewer holds 380 shares at 373 rupees a piece, and the stock is trading around 381. So do not get confused with those numbers. Now, what I notice about Coal India, and then I'd like to take your view, is the fact that Coal India has seen consistent correction since August 2024. But in a market of premium valuations, the stock is currently at a PE ratio of close to 6 points. What's your view on Coal India? Does it have decent valuations at the moment? And if you recommend a buy on Coal India, for how long would the holding period ideally be?
So we are recommending this stock from last 10 to 15 days because of the Atmanirbhar theme which we are running. Coal India is a no Atmanirbhar kind of business model where the effect of Trump doesn't affect any of his business model. So for me, valuations are very comfortable with 6 to 7 P forward, as well as book ratios are almost near 2 price to book valuation. So I think very comfortable to add more at this point of time. Obviously, yes, considering my colleague's support again, so every support can be a level to add more like an SIP. For me, a target would be anywhere between 420 to 440 with a 1 year horizon from current levels.
Okay, thanks for that view on Coal India, Prashant. Now we have a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Shrikant. Good evening.
Hi, sir. Namaste.
Namaste. Please go ahead with your query, Shrikant.
Sir, AGI Green వచ్చేసి 1000 rupees is 100 shares, sir. I have a 10 years long-term holding, sir. It's averaging.
Shrikant, you're not properly audible, but what I'm trying to understand is you have bought 100 shares of AGI Green at 1,000 rupee a piece. Is that correct?
Yes, madam.
Okay. And you're looking for a long-term view, a 10-year view probably?
Yes, madam.
Okay, Shrikant. I'll get your query answered. Prashant, a lot of fundamental queries today on the show.
Averaging time.
Yes, Shrikant. Shrikant, I'm going to my experts. They're going to answer your query there. Prashant, if you could take that one, currently it's trading at 681. Are you optimistic on AGI Green?
Fundamentally, I don't track this company, but looking at these basic numbers with respect to P and price to book, I think the numbers are a little bit reasonable at this point of time. But obviously, a long-term story looks good. Almost it is trading near its 52-week low. So I think downside would be limited from the current levels, looking at the valuations. But obviously, when I don't track this company, very difficult to understand the downside risk. But if he has a view of 1 year plus or 2 years, then I think it's a good way to buy more on dip strategy. But currently, it's a hold call from my side.
All right. And Gaurav, what's your view on AGI Green?
On the technical chart front, I really don't find any positives coming in, at least in the near term. The only plus point here is that the stock has just tested its support and some bounce is being witnessed thereafter. Hence, I see it heading towards 680 to somewhat, 780 to 800 odd levels in the near term, which is actually the confluence zone of its 50 and 100-day moving average that should act as a resistance point here. So I would suggest the viewer to hold with a stop below 600 and look for targets close to 800 odd levels and consider booking it at that point if it is a short-term position.
Okay, so that's the view on AGI Green. And now we have Dr. Reddy calling us from Guntur. Hi, Dr. Reddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Please ask away your question.
Ma'am, I bought Senco Gold shares at the rate of 641 rupees, 78 shares.
Okay.
So, my view is short term and long term, can I average? What is this script, madam?
Okay, and when did you buy these shares?
Shares नवंबर में खरीदा मैडम.
नवंबर में खरीदा आपने. अच्छा, ठीक है. Understood. So, Mr. Reddy holds 78 shares of Senco Gold at 641 rupees a piece. That's close to its 52-week high. And the current price is right now at 263. Prashant, what's your view on Senco Gold? Because, and I just want you to answer this in this context because it's so important, right? The markets currently are volatile. AMFI data came in today and it shows a bad picture for mutual funds. Where do you think the average investor is headed? Could gold be the safe haven asset that it is? Please
obviously, yes, but not through this stock. I think I'm not comfortable to recommend this stock at this point of time again. Valuations are still expensive, not so comfortable for long-term investors to average at this point of time. Obviously, he has bought it at a level where the gold price are still heading towards new high, but again that is not being replicated in the Senco gold price action. So I think my recommendation would be go with a stop loss and then hold the stock at current level. If the stop loss is hit in the near term, I think he has to book his losses.
Okay. And Gaurav, what's your view on Senco Gold?
Not looking impressive, just hitting lower lows from quite some time. What we have seen a very huge price correction from 750 odd levels to 250 now. And still, I don't see any respite coming in, no bottom formation. I see it heading southwards in the near term as well.
Okay, thanks.
Better to utilize, if he finds any bounce from the current range, better use it to exit the position.
All right, thanks for that view, Gaurav. Now we have a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Anthony. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, how are you doing?
We are doing very well. Please go ahead with your query.
Yes, I have Tata Motors of 125 quantity at the price of 794.
Right.
And looking for a duration horizon around 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And I've incurred a loss of 15,000 as of now. So
yeah, I can see
hold
that.
On?
Yes. And when did you buy it exactly?
I think around 3 to 4 months ago.
Okay.
I'm just a recent investor, so started investing.
Okay. So is this your first, debut in investing in the stocks?
Kind of, I would say major stock. Before this, I was just trying to buy some penny stocks, but these are the big stocks which I started by.
All right, very good there. Currently, Prashant, it's trading at 668 and was up over 3% in trade today. And Tata Motors has recently shown signs of recovery in its stock performance, also rebounded 11% from a 52-week low. But despite this short-term recovery, the stock has faced significant challenges. Now, with a decline of approximately 33.17% over the past year, Prashant, what's your outlook on Tata Motors?
Very positive on the long term again. The challenges are similar to the auto industries. Obviously, the JLR business model still taking a lot of trouble with respect to sales growth. But today morning, there was some management comment with respect to their targets to have a net debt-free company in the JLR as a business model. So I think that has triggered the stock very well now. And I think that would give support to the stock to come back to its 800 to 900 level at least for 6 months to 12 months. So my recommendation would be hold, buy more on dips.
All right. And Gaurav, do you also hold the same view for short term? How is it faring on the charts?
Somewhat the similar view. I too find the stock pretty attractive at current level. I suggest one can take even long positions at the current levels, look for targets close to around 720 to 750 zone and take a clear stop loss for a trading position that is a recent low, somewhat around 615 odd levels. And just hold and buy.
Understood. So it's a buy on Tata Motors, and now we have Amol. He's joining us from Noida. Hi Amol, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
How can we help you today?
Actually, I bought Adani Green Energy, 50 stocks at 12.99 average price.
Okay.
So I just want to know what is the right time to book a loss, when to exit, because today we could see some momentum in the stock.
Correct. Okay, understood. Gaurav, I'll take this one to you. Amol currently holds 50 shares of Adani Green at 1,299 rupees a piece. The stock is now hovering around 850 rupees. It has seen some constant deceleration since September 2024 when it was trading at 2,000 levels. Do you think it will pick up anytime soon? How long will Amol have to wait? And if not, what should be his exit price?
Very initial, but still very bleak signs of some recovery are seen in this particular stock. And a bounce towards 5,200 rupees bounce looks a bit likely here. But for that, the stock needs to sustain above 870, 880 levels for say at least 1 or 2 trading sessions. And then an up move towards 1,000 can be seen. But on the whole, chart formations are very negative. For a medium to long term perspective, I am simply not positive on this stock. Rather, I would suggest utilize the bounce to exit the position.
All right. Thanks for that view, Gaurav. Now, just a disclaimer for our viewers, NDTV Profit is a subsidiary of AMG Media Network, the channel you're watching right now. And with that, we have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Sagar. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes. How can we help you, Sagar?
Yeah. So I have around 100 shares of Anand Rathi Wealth at an average price of 1640.
Okay.
So So I just wanted to know the short term view, like 3 to 6 months, what can it go? Like, can it dip or should I add more?
Okay, and are you a frequent investor or you are a new investor?
No, frequent investor, but
all right.
yeah. Like,
all right. Prashant, again, a fundamental query. The stock is trading at 1653 and was down over 4% today in trade. Since 3rd of March, if I'm looking at the charts, it has witnessed a very, very sharp fall. So what do you have to say on this particular counter?
The fall is in line with market performance. Again, there are a lot of stories in the market saying that the accounts have been getting dormanted. These accounts are not been active from last 3 to 6 months. Even Zerodha has commented on this account activity. So I think there are a lot of negativity in terms of market participant business models like Anand, Rathi, CDSL, Kintech, and also short term there will be some kind of negativity still going on until unless markets settles down at one level. I think maybe another 1 quarter. I'm talking about Q1 of next financial year. So once the earnings gets settled down and then markets also started consolidating at these levels again, then only these business model will start giving green trends from that level. So I think for me, short term will be still negativity, and at least for 3 to 6 months. Later the market can settle down.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us your view on Anand, Rathi. And we'll have to slip into a short break, but keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp and call in. We will be right back for Ask Profit. Do stay tuned to NDTV Profit.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every anlom, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the trading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. And viewers, to solve your stock-related queries, we are joined by Prashant Tapse on the fundamentals and Gaurav Sharma on the technicals. So what are you waiting for? Please pick up your phones and call us right away. With that, we have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Srinidhi. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, Srinidhi. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
I have HDFC Bank around 100 shares. Okay, I purchased at 1598.
Okay.
So currently I have profit of close to 11k.
Yeah.
So what is the prospect of HDFC Bank? Whether it will go up because the last few years the returns was negative.
All right. And when did you buy it exactly?
This I purchased over a period of last 1 year.
Last 1 year. Okay. So in 1 year, you are sitting on a profit of 11,000 is what I can see.
Yeah.
Currently, it's trading at 1,711. Prashant, again coming to you, in the banking space, what's your outlook, in general? And if we talk about HDFC Bank in particular, what's your outlook on the same?
Overall, with respect to banking space, very positive. I think the next financial year from April, there are a lot of liquidity push which has been given by RBI that will obviously help banks like HDFC as well as any other PSU banks to get a lot of credit growth in the market. So I think that liquidity will help the financial system and the ecosystem to get a faster growth, and that will help a lot of banks to recover its lost trend in last 1 or 2 years. So HDFC obviously being the largest private sector bank will have a larger chunk of that liquidity push. So with next 1 or 2 years, there will be a lot of business which is going to be helping a bank to go faster. With respect to housing finance, I am very positive on that. So considering these factors, again very positive to hold at this point of time, and with a target of at least 1850, 1820 for another 6 months to 1 year.
Right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. And Gaurav, if I'd want to ask you about your 3 picks in the banking space for short term, so what it would be?
It would clearly be the 3 goodies in the private sector space. That is, first being HDFC Bank, followed by Kotak, and then Axis Bank.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for that. Malika,
yes.
You would like to take the another caller?
We have Lingaraj. He is calling us from Odisha. Hi, Lingaraj. Good evening.
Yeah, hi. Good evening.
Please ask away your question.
So I have IRCTC. I am holding 108 shares at average of 894.
Okay.
What is the view for long term and what is the view for short term? I have been down bought it at a breakout sometime around April 2024. Now it is going south. So what do I do going forward? Shall I put a stop loss or exit, and how am I going to do it?
Understood. Gaurav, what's your view on IRCTC? As he mentioned, he's bought them. He holds 108 shares at 894 rupees a piece. He bought them back in April 2024, around that time. And the stock has seen a constant fall since July of 2024. Would you first help me understand if this is in line with what how the markets are behaving, or is there something special to do with IRCTC and the fall that it is facing?
I think we have to take a broader picture into this while understanding this specific counter. First, we have to look at the broader market, which started sell-off somewhere around September last year. And there were 2 major sectors which were beaten down very, very hard. One being the defense, the other being the railway. And these were the 2 sectors which have risen too much. So the harder was the rise and the harder was the fall. It goes a similar way. But yes, the decline has been extended in this particular space. Still, I do not see a very, very good and optimistic near-term couple of weeks. But if that stock is able to sustain above 720, then yes, another further respite rally towards 800 can be seen in the near term. But as of now, it is not looking very, very good.
All right. Thanks for that view, Gaurav. With that, we have a caller from Mumbai. Hi, Akash. Good evening. Thanks for calling in.
Hi. Thanks. So I have Indusind shares. I have bought 500 shares at 648.
All right.
I have bought it today.
Okay.
I just want to understand, should I be having any kind of stop loss in short run? And second is, what is the view for midterm? I intend to hold these for another 3 to 5 years.
Okay, and but why did you buy Indusind Bank today? I'm very curious to know. After what happened yesterday with the stock?
Yeah, the price seems to be, in a good range right now. I understand the fundamentals are correct. Of course, there were a couple of bad news in last 2-3 days, but I have a feeling that the bank will bounce back.
All right, all right. So I'll get both the technical and fundamental view on it. Prashant, I'll come to you. Yesterday the stock crashed over 27%, over reporting of accounting discrepancies. But today we saw a rebound. It was up 4% in trade. So what do you have to say? Are you bullish on Indusind Bank for long term?
Long term, yes, but short term there may be a lot of hurdles still coming out of the internal committee report once it comes out in March end. So yes, obviously the investor has taken a risk at this point of time, but obviously he has to carry this trade with a strict stop loss where Saurabh can help us. But overall, fundamentally, I think this is one off in the business model of Indusind Bank that was been triggering from last many years. It has been carry forward trade in the foreign forex trade. So I think that was very clearly mentioned with the management, and management is trying to convince all their stakeholders with respect to the losses which they have made, which has been assumed at 1,500 crores to 2,000 crores. If something goes above this, again there may be some kind of short-term hurdle in this space, but it will take its own time to adjust. But obviously Q4 earnings, this will be adjusted, and the price action has taken care about the adjustment with almost 30% from the top. So overall, I think with stop loss, the investor can take a call for medium term.
Right. And Gaurav, after this shake-up, how is it faring on the charts?
See, from a technical standpoint, if I'm just looking at charts and ignoring what Prashant has said, first statement will come in that the viewer has quite a heart to buy this stock here at current levels if he is looking for a trading perspective. Point number one. Point number two, share is currently quoting around 684. He has asked for a stop loss. It has breached all the recent stop losses that were placed nearby. Now, from the current range, what I can see is the stop loss is quite deep, somewhere placed around 530 is the stop loss. So on charts, it is strictly not looking good, and the possibility of a further decline cannot be ruled out.
Okay, got it. And now we have Mahesh. He's calling us from Mumbai. Hi, Mahesh. Good evening.
Yes, hi. Good evening.
Please ask away your question.
I have my query is regarding two stocks I'm holding. One is Motilal Oswal.
Okay.
I have 1,800 shares, which I have purchased quite a few years back. Average price of 225.
Okay.
With the current level, the stock is falling over last month. I want to know what's the long-term view. Should I hold or should I buy more and average out further?
Understood. Prashant, I'll take this one to you. Mahesh holds 1,800 shares of Motilal Oswal at 225 rupees a piece. He's sitting on a profit of over 6 lakh rupees from this investment. So kudos to him. But now that the stock is dilapidating a bit on the stock exchanges, what is your view on Motilal Oswal? Will it be able to contain the profits that it has given Mahesh, or will it fall further?
Obviously, near term, I think there will be a lot of hurdles still coming on Motilal Oswal with respect to the wealth management, the mutual fund business which it is into in this company. I think there is a lot of selling pressure with respect to this AUM, as well as we have seen this AMFI data points today. There has been some kind of a little bit downside in terms of investments in equity as a sector. So I think that will have some kind of negative impact on the stock, whichever is like Motilal Oswal or any Anand, rathi, any stock which are into wealth management. So downside is limited. Obviously, his view is for long term. There can be a good story again of artists for 1 or 2 quarters. Then the stock may change its trend. So overall, I am very much positive. But short term, in 1 or 2 quarters, there may be some kind of downside expected.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. We have a caller now from Chandigarh. Hi, Rahul. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead with your query.
Ma'am, I have 71 shares of SW Solar at 282 price.
Okay.
And I am a long-term investor.
Okay.
And I want to ask if should I buy more at current price because it's trading low,
Yeah.
Or should I wait for some more correction?
And I just wanted to, cross-check with you. You bought at 282?
Yes, ma'am, 282.
282, all right. And currently, if we look at the trading picture, it's trading at 229, which is near its one-year lows. So, Prashant, today also the stock was down over 2%. And fundamentally, are you really bullish on Sterling and Wilson, renewable? Because if I look at the chart, so since September, it has seen a downward trend. So are you still bullish on this particular counter?
I'm not comfortable with a positive view on this company. The recent change in terms of parent from Shapurji to Reliance Industries, again, the valuations are still very expensive. The numbers are not so great as of now with respect to its quarterly earnings. Even the main business is into renewable EPC contract. The order book is not so great for this company for a long-term visibility. For me, if the client is asking, I think it should be a exit at this point of time. I think there will be a lot of downside, more expected earnings. The ratios are not so good. The valuations are very expensive at this point of time. I will see more downside from the current levels. So my call would be sell at this point of time.
Okay, and do you also have any suggestions in this particular space?
I think better go with L&T as a bigger space in terms of EPC contract. So I think that would be the best call at this point of time again.
Okay, and now we have Manoj. He's calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Manoj. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Please ask your question.
The first one is on the Varun beverages. I have 100 shares.
Okay.
The average price is 533.
Okay.
Is it good to average at this current price now, or what's the future?
Got it. Gaurav, what is your view on Varun beverages? The stock has seen correction since January 2025. It has in fact fallen quite steeply. What's your view? How does it look like in the charts?
A clear positive view on this stock. It looks pretty impressive. It is its season now. The December quarter are usually low for this company because it is into the beverage selling business. Now is the time where it will garner returns. So I think the next couple of 2 quarters is what Varun Beverages will outpace. I see it heading towards 540 and even 560 to 580 levels in the coming 6 months. So it's a buy on this stock.
All right. So that's a buy on Varun Beverages for short term. That's what Gaurav is suggesting. With that, we have a caller from Kerala. Hi, Babu.
Hi.
Yes, how can we help you?
See, I brought a Equitas Small Finance Bank at the rate of 20 rupees. Top shares 850. Shall I hold it or average it now?
And now, are you looking for a long-term view or a short-term view?
6 months to 1 year.
6 months to 1 year. All right. Gaurav, I'd like to come to you on the technical front. The stock has seen some fluctuations there, but currently it's trading at 58.5 and Babu bought it at 70. And he has bought 850 shares. He's also sitting on a loss of almost, I think, 9,000 there. But the stock was up 2% in trade today. So what do you have to say? How are the prospects, of Equitas, small finance bank faring on the charts?
As of now, on the chart front, it is not looking very good. I would rather wait for some more time and see if the stock is able to surpass 62 odd levels. And once that is done, it will rise up to even 68 in the immediate near term. So that is a short-term perspective. But still, the upside would be very difficult. Charts are indicating weakness, and the weakness has brought in from even from 115 to 58 now. Upside would be a little difficult actually.
All right. And in the small finance bank space, Prashant, what are your top picks? Are you, firstly, are you bullish on this particular counter? And if not, so what are your top picks?
With respect to small finance banking, I'm not comfortable with this business model as of now. Any stock, I'm not giving any buy call because bigger banks are facing so much of problem in this industry, and the small banks like this will obviously face a lot of difficulty in terms of credit growth. So for me, it's a a void sector at this point of time. If anybody would like to have a small banking finance or a microfinance, I think we have Bandhan Bank. One should look at this as a broader picture in terms of having MFI as well as the private banking sector. This stock looks good with both the business model in the same company.
Okay, got it. And now we have another WhatsApp query. Srinivas has written to us from Chennai. He holds 100 shares of ADF Foods at 300 rupees a piece and is asking for a 5-year view on this company. Now, the stock currently trades around 240 rupees and is primarily engaged in exporting ready-to-eat meals and frozen and canned foods like pickles to the US and UK. Now, my question to you on this would be, and I would ask this to you, Prashant, because I would want your fundamental view here. Of course, we know that Trump tariffs are a major, it's something that's acting and shaking up the global supply chain, right? And ADF Foods that primarily supplies these ready-to-eat materials to the US and the UK, how could that get impacted? Because negotiations are going on. We do not know what the final outcome out of those negotiations could be. And in the 5-year long view, what is your take on ADF?
Obviously, 5 year is a very long-term view for this kind of business. Obviously, the consumption story is really great, even though the exports may not be looking so good with respect to the export tariff, which Trump is going to put it on India as well as US. So for me, it's a wait and watch to get a more clarity on the reciprocal taxes between US and India. But obviously, with respect to consumption story, domestically very, very aggressive. I think that should be the reason why stocks should do good in the near term as well as long term. Even the earnings were really great. I think December numbers were better than the Q2 numbers. So that gives us a very confident Q4 numbers will be better than Q3. So that will give a lot of comfortable with respect to visibility in terms of business. Only one thing, obviously, yes, export will see some kind of volatility. Once we get a lot of clarity on the reciprocal taxes on the food and other export oriented businesses, then the stock will be reacting very positive.
All right. Thanks for that view, Prashant. Now we have a caller from Ahmedabad. Hi, Nitin. Namaste.
हाँ गुड इवनिंग मैम मेरे पास Zydus लाइफ साइंस है मेरे पास 100 शेयर
ओके
890 के। तो मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि अगर ये मार्केट यहाँ से गिरता है और ये अगर मुझे नीचे में बाइंग करना हो तो सही रहेगा मेरे लिए स्ट्रेटेजी?
ओके एंड आपने ये कब खरीदा है नितिन?
मैंने अभी 2 दिन।
अच्छा 2 दिन पहले ही आपने खरीदा है, ठीक है। एंड ओके सो यू लुकिंग, आप एक लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू जानना चाहते हैं इसमें?
हाँ बिल्कुल मैं 5 से 6 साल होल्ड करना चाहता हूँ।
ओके प्रशांत, you know recently Zydus, like they are about to acquire 85.6% stake in Amplitude Surgical, and it's a very big deal there. So do you see this impacting the fundamentals of the company for the near term? And since Nitin is looking for a bigger picture, like he's waiting to hold this counter for another 5 to 6 years. So what's the picture looking like?
Overall, yes, it's a great company with respect to the healthcare businesses. With respect to valuation, very comfortable to say buy at these levels and buy more on dips also. With a 2 to 3 year view, I think the stock can give a CAGR return of almost 25 to 30%. That has the capacity in the business. With respect to the new deal, obviously, more clarity, we have to wait and watch how this will get impacted with respect to their volume growth, business growth, as well as EBITDA margin growth. So I think that will be wait and watch strategy for me. But overall, despite not considering that deal into the current business model, very comfortable to have a positive view on this for a long-term view.
Right. And for the new investors who have just started investing, so if they want to invest in this particular company, are these the correct levels to enter?
I think levels as a Saurabh will help us better because again, near term, there will be a lot of pressure in the stock price.
Gaurav, I'd like to come to you if you could help us out.
Yes, in the near term, I see a lot of troubles for this particular stock. A lot of resistances are placed nearby. So I don't see a smooth run up till the point it is able to surpass 1,000 odd levels. So yes, once it is able to do that, above 1,000, it looks attractive back to me. But until then, I'd prefer to avoid.
Okay, got it. And now we have Venkat. He's calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Venkat. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Yeah, actually, PVSL, that popular vehicle, I got IPO for last March.
Okay.
So can I hold for long term or minimum 5 years?
Okay. And Venkat, why did you invest in the IPO of PVSL?
No, that time actually in last moment I applied that IPO, so I got that IPO.
Okay.
So it's more than almost 62% loss.
Okay, got it. Prashant, I'd like to take your view on popular vehicles and services. Our viewer is currently sitting on a loss of just 10,000 rupees from investing in the IPO. What's your view? Because it hails from the automobile space and auto is not going through a good time at the moment. Where do you see the company going? I know it's a fresh company on the stock exchanges, but if you could just get your fundamental view on the company.
Yes, my view would be negative. I think I will be advising to exit at this point of time because you pointed it rightly with respect to the automobile sales. There are a lot of challenges still. I think near term, 3 to 6 months, these challenges will be there in India. And obviously, this company is into buying and selling of second hand as well as bigger brands in terms of showroom sales. So obviously, there will be some kind of near term hurdles. Numbers are not so good right now. Valuation wise, still expensive. Price to book valuation are still expensive at this point of time. If he can hold it for more than 6 months, then I think the stock can really turn out to be a best stock to his long term holding. But time being, there will be a lot of near term hurdles in the stock action price.
Okay, and Prashant, just for the benefit of our viewers, could you just take a minute to explain if this is the right time to invest in IPO? Because we saw a lot of IPO influx, investors going into IPO. There was an IPO frenzy in 2024, a sentiment to FOMO among investors for not investing. So one line, do you advise investors to invest in IPO? What should the prerequisite be?
I think there should be one main question with respect to valuation as well as visibility of the business for next 3 to 5 years. Fundamentals should be the main consideration while investing in IPO. Valuation should be very much comfortable and the money which company is raising should go into the company for a growth prospect, not for OFS and also. If any company is coming with an IPO for a right growth perspective, objectives, I think that could be a good stock to invest in, but again with a reasonable price.
All right, thanks for that view. Now we have Sanjay's query with us. So Sanjay has written to us from Surat saying that he's bought 85 shares of Asian Paints at 625 a piece and he wants to buy more. So, but he hasn't mentioned the time horizon. So I'd like to take both the technical and fundamental view on the same. First, coming to you, Gaurav, on the technical front, how is it faring on the charts?
Asian Paint has saw a steep decline in the past, say, a couple of months, again from September last year, when it was trading somewhere around 3,300 mark. Currently, it is quoting around 1,000 point dip, 2,300. So I'll still wait in this particular space, specifically in Asian Paints. Let it go past 2,300 mark on a closing basis. Sustain above that, then only I'll consider buying it. Otherwise, what I see is the consolidation which is currently going on can last for another couple of weeks to even 1 to 2 months.
All right, and Prashant rightly said, since November and even further since September, rightly said by Gaurav, that it has witnessed a beating and paint sector in general is under pressure. So what do you have to say to our viewers about this particular sector if they're looking to invest in it?
I think now the space is getting crowded. A lot of new companies like Jindal and Birla has entered into business and they are trying to eat up the market share of Asian Paints. That is the biggest pain in the company right now. But overall, with respect to margins, I think there will be some kind of better margins for all the paint companies because of the sustainable crude prices that will be benefiting them for getting more EBITDA margins. But obviously, with respect to valuations, I'm not comfortable to recommend Asian Paints at this point of time. Better to go with Kansai, Narolac, because again, the growth and the addressable market is same. But again, with respect to valuations, I think it's a better place at this point of time. So this can be a better stock to buy and hold for long term.
Understood. And we will address another WhatsApp query. Kiran has written to us from Dubai. He does not hold any shares but is interested in knowing about the prospect of Shelley Engineering in the long term. Prashant, what is your view on Shelly Engineering? Because the stock has experienced strong revenue growth driven by execution of new orders, particularly in the healthcare and toy segments. Does your view hold? Is it optimistic?
I think the run-up has already happened in the stock. Upside is very limited with respect to the price action. But valuations again trading at 100p, not comfortable for a fresh buying. If he's making good profit at this point of time, I think at least try to book 50% of the profits at this point of time again. Because one or the other day with respect to valuation, again, there will be a lot of profit booking attempts at this point of time. So again, I think book profits at these levels, wait for a good level to re-enter the stock.
Okay, and with that, Prashant and Gaurav, thank you so much for joining us and answering all the queries of our viewers. We appreciate your time and we will see you soon. And viewers, you stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more news and updates. We will be back in the morning as well as in the evening. So do call us on the numbers flashing on your screen. You can also write to us on WhatsApp and stay tuned for a lot more on the other side.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit Conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every unloam, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the trading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.